Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to today. Welcome to this Q&A. How are we? Yay, yay, yay.
I don't know. I don't know
Did
if
you
I
like
care
my
for
poetry?
that.
Did you love my poetry? So this is a Q&A episode, as you may have already guessed.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't obvious.
Yeah, that wasn't obvious. So welcome to our dun-dun final Q&A. Maybe second to final.
Yeah, I bet we'll do one after the final arc, don't you think?
We'll probably do one after the final arc.
But we did realize during the recap, like, oh my god, like, this is our final recap.
Yeah,
I still think that we should do a recap after, so that if people
just
don't want to listen to our podcast, they can literally just listen to the recaps.
Yeah,
I think that's a good idea. I don't know.
Do that. It would be funny.
I think it's pretty funny, and I mean, maybe we need more of like a conclusion with the Void newscaster lady. I don't know.
Maybe
we gotta kill her.
Maybe they have to kill her. You know,
that's true.
Maybe
we need to enter into combat with her.
Oh my god!
Maybe I'm the final boss.
Oh, we have to kill God.
There was never a question about that.
This is like my favorite anime.
I mean, we ended up with a God Killer RPG campaign because I watched a lot of anime.
A lot of my narratives also involve God killing, not because of anime, just because of the
religious trauma.
Yeah, I just assumed it was because we all
you got me, Noah.
Want to kill God, right? Like that's like I don't subscribe to anything particular. It's just like the concept of God angers me because it's his fault that I exist, and so I want revenge upon him. Just figure we were all on the same page about that.
The most hinged person I know.
Yeah, I know. People tell me that every day. I know. I'm really woodsy.
You're really woodsy and hinged.
People say that to me every day, and it's honestly getting exhausting. It's like I'm just trying to fucking live, and everyone comes up to me on the street to tell me how woodsy and hinged I am.
Hannah, are you a barn door? Because you're woodsy and hinged.
Oh my god.
Anyway, hey, let's answer some questions. The people have questions.
Yeah.
And we have answers. So this first one is going to be from Espresso on the Discord. It is, if Antone, Ainsley, and the Gap were to be gods, what would they be gods of?
I like the idea of the Gap.
Oh, wow.
Gap,
really
god
good.
of the Gap.
What is the Gap as far as, like, conceptually?
Liminal spaces. Holes in the ground, and high to mid-range clothing stores.
Fissures in the earth.
Fissures in the earth.
I love it.
The Gap.
I will say the Gap probably would be. I mean, born to hench, god of hench,
That's true. Yeah. I mean, like realistically,
god of hench.
Yeah, god of hench. There's. I mean, yeah. That's really their whole deal.
I like the Gap ruling over gaps, though. That is good.
Mm-hmm.
I do love that. What about Antone? What would Antone be?
I mean, my first thought was like nepotism.
Yes.
Antone, the nepotism baby.
Yeah, because I mean, very much a character who just was, has not really worked to earn anything in their life. So I think, that's an option. Apart from that, I'd have to think on it. I mean, I don't think that there's like a god of envy per se.
No,
not
per se.
That could be a thing. That could be fun.
Yeah, I like that.
Very insecure person. So, but yeah, those are some fun options for you.
I love it. Tell me about Ainsley.
I'm trying to think of like, what is there like a god of shits and giggles?
Well, the Colony.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the Colony. So, I mean, aside from that, then like maybe just the god of being a bitch, like the god of bitchiness,
god of little bitch,
the god of little bitches.
I see people are proposing gaslighting as
gaslighting, gatekeeping, girl bossing.
Gaslighting. Yeah, that's actually really good. Yeah,
I love that.
Ainsley is good at that.
I feel like it would be Ainsley, Gaslight, Gap, Gatekeep, and then Antone Girl Boss.
Antone Girl Boss.
That actually really works.
That actually really does work.
The Hecate of Gaslight, Gatekeep, Girl Boss.
Good work, team.
Jesus Christ.
We're a team.
It's like you get to the crossroads and 3 figures appear in their black cloaks.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
2 short, 1 tall.
I love that.
That's what Slake's gonna see when they die.
That is.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Only if Slake
that'll
goes
be fun.
to hell.
Yeah, it's true. Slake's gonna have to do some
yeah.
dirty deeds first.
They've committed so much murder.
Yeah. Well, we've
Also,
all got blood on our
they,
hands.
Like, married somebody and then freaking ran off.
Well, I don't know that we need to talk about that. I think we should move on to the next question.
So I'm gonna say there's one that actually came up twice in a couple and in slightly different wordings, which is about Strong Betty. So I'm gonna call out our Patreon here. Elizabeth asked this question. It was also asked by Hi Miss Alice on Twitter. So Elizabeth asks, Kat, Strong Betty Wolf of the Waves seemed like an NPC you made up on the spot who became integral to the arc as Strong Selny. Did Selny always exist as an NPC, or did you shoehorn Strong Betty into the story? I think that's how it ends, but I can't scroll sideways on the spreadsheet, so that's just how it is. To answer the question, yes, Strong Selny, Strong Betty, Wolf of the Waves, fully made up on the spot. The total sum of my notes at the beginning of that character was, for that session, it was 3 bullet points, which was, the first was just the question, how are they going to get across the ocean? And then it was 3 bullet points of options of things that I thought maybe they might do. One of which was contact the pirates. And I said, if they contact the pirates will put them in contact with a smuggler. But I didn't know if you guys were going to choose that option. So I did not write any more than that.
Yeah, I remember. Well, I specifically, I don't know if we knew that while you were doing it, but I think I remember at the end of that scene, you were like, yeah, I just made her up, and that's why, I wouldn't tell you her name.
Yep, and then we all went insane.
Yeah.
Because we were obsessed with her.
I remember afterwards, too, you said that Swan was supposed to play a lot of the role that she ended up playing later on in the campaign, but we, wouldn't fucking let go of her,
yes.
Dogs with, her little body in our mouths.
What a perfect simile.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Oh, and there was a way that I wrote it after Selny dropped you guys off. There were a couple, ways that you could have gotten into the city, and if you had chosen a different way, you would not have encountered Selny again. And she...
Oh my
just
God.
Disappeared into the backstory. Yeah. So because you guys didn't... Because of the way you guys chose to get in, that ended up with Selny helping you get in, and then that meant... Oh, that's what it was. It was that if Mary hadn't noticed Selny, or you guys hadn't noticed Selny, something happened, you guys passed a roll that you were able to spot Selny. And if you hadn't spotted her, she probably would have come in and played some other minor role in the arc. Yeah, but mainly it would have been what Swan would have filled that role. So yeah, you guys willed Strong Selny into existence, and now she is everybody's favorite gal. Here's an anonymous question from our Tumblr. Tumblr. What was the most different about doing Crow's Camp compared to the regular arcs? Joy. I mean, not to say that our normal arcs are very joyful, but this one was pure joy. It was incredibly joyful the whole time. I mean, there were no stakes. There's no emotional core to this adventure. It was just pure wacky goof 'em ups. Yeah.
Well, and I feel like it was much more. I mean, obviously, you had to still do a lot of planning, Kat, but you had to do it in a different way. Which, I mean, you can say how that was, but as for us, it felt a lot more pure. Improv, I guess.
Yes,
in terms of the fact that we didn't have to be remembering a ton of shit all the time. Yeah, and trying not to
say the wrong thing and look our characters are stupid. There was no.
I mean, yeah. Shh. Yep. Exactly. So that was fun. I think this actually goes into like another question from, I believe, Artemis on Patreon. I did not super love playing Bubble Gumshoe. Not like I liked like the mystery solving aspects, but like just because I'm dumb and I can't understand new things and I'm used to D&D, and so I was just...
Well, and Bubble Gumshoe it's a very different system because it's a lot less like roll this dice to see if you can do something. And I definitely like ran it.
But then sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing is I ran it more like that because I think that's just what we're more comfortable with.
Sure.
But like one of the core tenets of Bubble Gumshoe is that like if there was a clue, all you have to do is say, I use whatever skill. Like you can just choose a skill off your list
to find the clue.
And find the clue. As long as it's relevant. And then you find the clue. There's no failure there. Which
and I think
Are you suffering from high-quality podcasts? You see, quality podcasts stimulate parts of your brain, leading to an irksome condition called thinking. But suffer no more, my friend. Introducing Discount Storytime's blend of fictional nonsense and rancid gibberish to provide soothing relief. Try Discount Storytime today. Available on most podcast catchers and at discountstorytime.com.
Consult your healthcare provider before listening to Discount Storytime. Not intended to treat unicyclitis, pickleball liver, or jittering expectations.
For me, at least with Bubble Gumshoe, like from my perspective at least, I need like very rigid, like you can do this, you can't do this type of rules. Mm-hmm. If I don't have those, I can't follow the rules at all. I like can't have a nebulous rule. So like I have to know exactly what the rule is. And so I think like for me, I was literally just like, I know I kept forgetting to like say I use my whatever because I was just like, I'm making a story with my friends and we are purely LARPing.
I was like, you know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I know, right? Like,
how can you make me follow the rules?
I think that is really what happened is we just sort of kind of fell into, we were just LARPing. Like,
we were just LARPing. Yeah. Like that's basically what it was.
We were just like, we were on GaiaOnline.com and we all had a little anime avatar and we were typing the story.
Well, I mean, I liked that Bubble Gumshoe was, like just so much rules-wise, so much less to keep track of, so much simpler. Like, I actually really, like, I was like, that's cool, I like that. And then, like, because we were able to, I think, just really focus on, like, the storytelling elements. And I think going in, knowing that we, weren't going to be playing the characters for, like, a really long time kind of took some pressure off too. Cause I mean, I feel like for me, like, I can get emotionally invested in things very easily. So like it doesn't make, I guess, a big difference to me, like how much pressure there is, like whether I'm supposed to be invested in what's happening or not. But I am like, going into something knowing it's going to be shorter is kind of like.
That's also different.
Yeah, I think from a character perspective, it felt much more like to going in as like Ainsley. It's like, I know that at the end of this, my only real goal is to like solve a murder and become friends with Antone in whatever that way that looks. And so it was very much like a very easy linear path to follow in terms of character development. Whereas like with the like main crew, it's kind of all over the place and it's so long form that I'm like, when do I give character development? Has this character development happened already? Did I do this? What's happening?
Did I forget?
Did I forget that I developed a character trait? Like, what's... So, like, I think it was easier in that way as well.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Also, oh my god, so one thing that I noticed, especially when I was editing, is, like... So, like, when we're playing as, like, Fran, Corbin, and Slake, and we, like, have theories about things, oftentimes we don't say them, or if we do talk about them, we talk about them out of character, and then, like, I, like, will edit it out, so that when the reveal happens, it's like, oh, like, there's no way they could have known, even though, like, it's, like, something that we've been talking about. Like, I can't think of an example right now, but, like a lot of the Kai and Torva stuff, we were like, ooh, I wonder if it's this. But I was like, no, hold back, wait for it,
Nice.
And I noticed that, like, we kept doing that during the Frost Camp thing. Like, we kept not saying, like, I think we were all sure it was Lyle, like, before Lyle was revealed. But, like, none of us were like, I bet it's that guy Lyle.
I didn't, well, I'll speak for myself. I didn't know.
Yeah,
Alright.
I mean, I didn't really give it much thought. I was truly method acting the entire time we were playing
I
Rose
agree.
Camp because I just did not give in a single shit about who was. I just wanted to cause chaos. But I do
love
think that we also had a lot more like in character conversations during Rose Camp than we did, or than we do like during our main campaign. Like obviously we
That's
have
true.
in character conversations, but like useless ones is what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, pointless conversations.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think you guys were just able. I mean, you guys just got into it. You were having fun. We were all having fun. We were all having a lot of fun whenever we recorded. I want to go back to Noelle brought up that like my prep for House Camp was a lot different.
Yes.
Now I want to talk a little bit about that because it's just the nature of writing a mystery. You have to know where it ends. Whereas, with our main campaign, that's so long form. I've had a vague plan for it the whole time, but like, the details are left up usually till the day before we record, to be totally honest. But with Rose Camp, I had it written out pretty much day 1 when we started recording. I think maybe day 2 I had the whole adventure written out. And that was just because I had to know where all the clues were going to be, so that because of the way Bubblegum Shoe is set up, I can't just be like, oh, I think there's going to be a clue in this room. Maybe if they do something cool, I'll reveal some information. I have to know, like, if they go into, Foya's office, here are the things that they're going to see, and this is how they are either going to help or hinder them to solve the mystery. So I'm really glad that, Noelle, you at least picked up on Lyle. And also that, like, I
didn't pick up on him much beforehand, but I was like, it's probably either Bragmire with somebody, because it's not gonna just be Bragmire, because that would be too obvious. Or it's like one of the owners was my theory.
Right. And that was kind of what I was trying to put Bragmire in as a red herring and, point things towards things are going wrong at the camp. And I talked to you 3 about this in our group chat. But the writers of Game of Thrones are a little bitch, because I was checking the Discord to see if people had theories, if people picked up that Lyle was right, or Lyle was the criminal. And I was deeply and intensely gratified when I saw people getting it right, because that meant I did a good job, and I laid out the clues, and I foreshadowed
Wait.
it.
So wait, you're saying that if someone guessed the upcoming twist in the piece of media you were making, you wouldn't then rewrite the entire piece of media in ways that were completely inconsistent with what you'd previously written in order to have a cheap gotcha moment?
It certainly sounds crazy.
I know.
Yeah, I don't think that makes any sense.
I understand that I will never make it in Hollywood with this attitude, but
You'll make it plenty.
I'll make it exactly as far as I want.
Here we go. We're going to Hollywood. That's the big announcement.
I'll make it as far as I want to in Hollywood, which is nowhere.
Questions.
Yeah. Yeah, let's move to a new question.
Let's do
Yeah, we have to answer the questions.
I
Do you want to pick one?
want to pick one.
Yeah,
yes. I like this one. Everyone, who is your favorite character that you've played for the podcast? And Kat, who is your favorite NPC that you've played?
Dawson. I think
Dawson.
I think I've answered this before. Dawson is always my favorite NPC to play. Always, always, always.
I don't know if you have
You're
answered that
nasty.
before.
Oh, really?
Because you were nasty.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you have, and like I just have memory loss.
I knew this
But-
because I knew that Kat was nasty, and I
Well,
knew.
I mean, it's not unexpected, but at the same time, it's like I did feel a deep sense of anger and rage and betrayal when you said that.
That's fair. That's fair. I just love. I mean, it's the same instinct as all of you have playing your host camp characters. I love to be a shitty little bitch. Like,
Yeah, that's
well,
fair.
Being a shitty little bitch is fun.
it's also the
True.
voice.
It's
The
true,
voice
it's true.
is fun to do.
Dorosky in the chat seconds before tragedy said, "If it's Dawson, I swear."
I'm sorry.
Yep.
But it also kind of goes back to what we were saying about, like, stakes and character development. Like, I love Mary.
Right.
Mary is sweet. She is integral to the story.
Mhm.
But I always have to keep, like, a very metered eye on how...
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like
Right.
she'd be a really tough character to play.
Yes. And I've
Yeah.
talked to you guys about this before, in that, like, I have...
Yeah.
It's a very fine line playing a DMPC, because I don't ever want to lead you guys or have her be the solution or provide the solution,
Right.
which is why, like, in combat, Mary never, like, she's never throwing off offensive spells. She's really just healing and doing support. It's why, like, Mary never has ideas. It's because, like, I don't want to be telling you guys what the answer to the questions are. So, like,
I mean, so sometimes she does have ideas.
yes,
Yeah.
I will say though, like, as the editor, like the people might not know this. Usually when Mary has an idea, it's because the three of us have been talking about it out of character and not being in character.
Yeah.
And so then Kat will be like, Mary signs that is what you should do.
yeah,
Because
True.
we've been, like, debating it for 7 years.
yes, yeah.
And I usually, like, at that point, I'll just, like, delete all of us, like, debating, being really boring.
Yeah, so Mary ends up being, oftentimes, for me, she alternates between being, like, a character, a full-fledged NPC character, and also a signpost, where
Right.
I have to kind of use her as a rudder sometimes to get the boat where it needs to go. But I love playing Dawson. He's always my favorite. I love to be a shitty little bitch.
Juniper, who's your favorite to play?
You guys know that it is similar to Kat. It's Ainsley.
Oh, really?
I don't. It's just easy. It's so easy. Like
It's just Juniper's
comes so
natural
naturally.
personality that they're
it's just
suppressing.
my natural personality.
That is not Juniper's natural personality.
No, don't look at me. You don't know anything
just
about
not
me, and we are
true.
not soul bonded, so I don't want to hear
It's just
anything
not
about
true.
it.
You're not drift compatible.
Hannah, who's your favorite to play?
I'm going to shock everyone. But I love playing Mr. Wendell. Let's see. I enjoy playing all of them. I do think it's easier to play, like, Post-Minger.
Oh.
And
Interesting.
I don't know, like, I mean, Slake is a balance. Like, there are easier things and more difficult things. And yeah, Lentle's not the easiest to play per se, but I just really enjoy his character, and I enjoy, I don't know, getting to explore being
I was
depressed.
gonna say, it allows you to explore your id, which is sad old man.
Yep,
I
exactly.
thought you were gonna say you enjoy getting to explore being a thirst trap, but I guess.
Yes, Mr. Wentel.
I mean, you know-
certified thirst trap.
I mean, I famously love terrible middle-aged men, so...
And that's for
Well, I mean, I won't lie that is what I thought when you were like, I'm Mr. Wendell, these are all the description. I was like, okay, Hannah.
And I'm glad that came through.
well, and
Yeah,
for,
I mean, we all knew.
100%.
Yeah.
for those on the main
love that.
feed, in the future, Mr. Wentel, if you are not familiar, is from our bonus our bonus campaign on our Patreon. So if you don't know who Mr. Wentel is, subscribe to the Patreon and find out, because he's great.
Yeah, I think most of the early episodes are still publicly available, so you should be able
The
to
first
find them.
2 for sure. I think the first 3.
Yeah.
So even if
with
you're
some-
not a subscriber, you can check out Mr. Wentel, and you can check out Mr. Wentel, and you'll probably be really confused why we're saying that he's hot.
Or you
right now.
won't be because it makes complete sense.
Yep.
Yeah, or you won't be because you're a certified freak.
You're the target audience.
Noelle, who's your favorite?
7 days a week. I don't know. It's so hard. I love all my children.
You love all your children.
I mean, yes. I mean, one of my favorite parts about playing D&D is, like, creating a new character, because, like, here's the thing. I put in minimal effort before we start playing usually. I put in a little bit more effort with Seeker. But even with Seeker, it's like I have, like, 1 or 2 things, and then I get to, like, discover who they are as I play them, which is very fun. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't think it's the Gap, although I did love playing the Gap. I felt like I reached the end of the Gap's potential, and I was ready to let go of the gap. Do you know what I mean?
I can't believe you're saying that.
I
There's so
will
much
not
left
let you
to
let go of the
explore.
gap. The gap will return eventually.
I already have an idea for a sequel. I've already been thinking about it in my little brain.
Yes.
Hit me up, Kat.
I'm sure we will meet Ainsley and the Gap and Postmanger once again, but they will have discovered new parts of their own personalities that you guys get to explore.
We'll see. I mean, it's like between Fran, I do love to play Fran. Like,
Fran's great. We all love Fran.
Because Fran is
Everybody loves
a little idiot.
Once again, going back to a little bitch. We all just love to play a little bitch.
She's a little bitch, and I love her vibe of being a weird little bitch.
Yeah.
I guess I'll, for balance's sake, I'll say Fran. I also love to play the Seeker. Because she seems nice, but she's like so elusive and weird.
Yes, I love that about her.
But I think in terms of like, I don't know. I guess like I'm thinking in terms of like who I could play long term, and I have played Fran long term, and I don't know. I think she has a lot of complications that are very fun to think about, and like. From the beginning, I've always had like a few different ideas of like if like Kat takes the podcast in this direction, this is like what kind of character I'll have Fran develop into, or if it's in this direction. And like I ended up, because of Leica leaving the party, I ended up doing like that little thing where it's like Fran's trying to become the leader and she's like a fucking idiot, which was very fun.
Yeah, I love that. I think that was such a smart character move. It made a lot of sense in the story. So.
Hello, listeners. Welcome to this mid-roll, which is going to be calm and ASMR-y. And I'm at work, so if you hear some pings, you can just ignore that. If you hear some growls, Riot's going through reactivity training right now, and he's looking out the window. So that's what that's about. He just hates people. I mean, who among us doesn't? Anyways, I'm here to bring you this wonderful mid-roll. I'm going to do a great job this time. I'm going to really nail it. I've written out a list of everything I need to say, so I can't mess up. The first thing that we're here to address is a slight change in our previously discussed posting schedule. We are all dying, metaphorically speaking. And so we're running out of buffer. We're very stressed, and it's the holidays. So we're going to be taking a break until the end of the year, and we'll begin reposting at the beginning of January. During that time, we're going to try and catch up and get a little bit more buffer ready so that we can hopefully not be scrambling quite so severely. The next order of business that we have is a message from the store. This is an advertisement for a new podcast, a D&D podcast that you can listen to yourself. Let me just pull up the photo that I took of the message so that I can read it on my phone. The oldest memes, the okayest DMing, the stupidest rolls, and the derpiest derps. All this and more on Derps and Dragons, a new 5th edition actual play podcast. Join the Derps every other Tuesday as they crit fail their way through the world of Jericho's. Jartus Guidehorn, a Minotaur fighter that was, until recently, frozen in time. Brewin Lacebuckle, a rock gnome artificer with a steel saber-toothed deer lion. Xeric, an Aarakocra. Is that how you say that? I don't actually know how to say that. I don't know how to say it. An Aarakocra. An an Aarakocra assassin turned mailman who quits his job to soar to new heights. Deoc Ennisbottom, a satyr bard with a deep connection to Mother Nature that cannot be explained. And J.D., the DM who reins in these 4 misfits while they crit succeed on the mundane and crit fail on the crucial. If you like Brendan Fraser, poop jokes, and bad dragons, winky face, then Derps and Dragons is the podcast for you. Catch them on your podcatcher of choice. That sounds amazing. Gonna add them to my Pokemon decks. That's a reference to the Pokemon game that just came out. Very cool and hip with the kids. I've heard it's unplayable. If you would like to have an ad read for you on our podcast, you can go to our store, damesanddragons.store, and have your own ad read, or just a random message. Anything. The sky is the limit, and you are capable of great wonders. Now, it's time to thank our patrons. I didn't pull that up, so we'll have a moment of silence while I get that ready. Kirsten is calling me. Hold, please.
Hello.
Hello. I'm now going to read our new patrons. I would like to first add a disclaimer that seconds ago I received a phone call from a coworker, and during that time, someone has gotten stuck in the snow outside of our apartment, and you may hear their wheels furiously spinning and crunching against the ice in a desperate bid to escape their wintry trap. It's unclear whether or not they will be successful. Anyways, here are our new patrons. Thank you so much to Tiniest Snail, Rihanna Abbas, Tony, Amber, LK, Olivia, Assigned Fake at Michelle, Amaya, the artist formerly known as Sharts in the Dark, Snootboob, Concrete After Rain, Rebecca Easley, Marschetti, Claire, Sol Wagner, Hemlock Pierce, Annabelle Rogers, Paula M., Darius Will and Torva, Eve Garrett, Renee Carmel, Leigh Williams, Nat Best, and Nolan Murphy Whitehead. I deeply apologize for the pings that may be picked up on the microphone from my Teams Messenger app on my work computer. Anyways, thank you all so much for pledging donations to us. We truly appreciate it. We would not be able to do half of the things that we do if it weren't for you. And with your money, I will be able to stop my coworkers from messaging me on Teams one day. Additionally, I would like to add another message here regarding our Patreon and a certain end-of-year gift, which we are this very weekend going to be packing and shipping out. You have limited time to pledge at the $10 tier to receive this gift. It sounded really threatening, and I apologize, but you should know this is the best end-of-year gift that we have ever sent out, and I do not say that lightly. It is literally unbelievably amazing, and I am very excited. I cannot express how much you will regret not being a $10 Patreon level tier member pledger, and you realize what you could have gotten for $10 that you now will have to pay much more for on our store, which it will be available on the store after we after the beginning of the year. It'll be available. It's very, very cool. And if you don't have any money, I completely understand. Please do not give us money if you cannot afford to. Take care of yourself first and foremost, because material goods are useless and capitalism is an evil, fascist vagrant, and none of us should pay any money for anything. But if you wanted to pay money for things, you can go to damesanddragons.store and buy various merchandise that we have created and are selling. Second to last, I would like to thank our reviewers, whose names I don't have pulled up, and frankly, I'm not sure where everyone else goes to find them. Give me a moment, please. Curly, 3.14, 159265 359. Thank you for reviewing. Blue Jay, 2510. Thank you for reviewing and saying Sunday, Sunday, Sunday at the Metrodome. Katie, 1204. Thank you so much for reviewing. We appreciate every review that you leave for us to make our podcast look like it's legit. Lastly, we have a message to Chantel. Chantel, I love you. We should hang out again. I miss you. And the code word is Transcat Boy. The sleeper agent is active. Go.
We all love.
Ooh, Snippy Snap in the chat asked what inspired the Gap. They were made up on the spot, yes.
Yes. So when I wrote Hannah's intro, I wrote a character for Noelle to play, which was the orc
mentor.
Yeah. And then I wrote a character for Juniper to play, which was
because I wanted, like a friend bully.
Yeah, a friend bully. So
a Froley.
Yeah. So Hannah had written the fully into their backstory for Slake. And then as I said, okay, so Juniper described who this person is, and Juniper did, and then Noelle was like, and also I'm here.
Yeah. I don't. Noelle just like super implanted herself into that plot line.
I don't know why I was possessed by the spirit of the Gap, and I needed to enter the story.
I'm so glad you did.
There was no.
I think I just felt like I think you did the first couple lines as Ainsley, and I was like, this is a character who needs it.
Well, yeah, that's true. I don't think that Ainsley would not be like, not to say that Ainsley's like a likable character, but I think they're likable in that they're like, you love to kind of hate them. But I think that would not be the case if it weren't for the Gap. I think the Gap rounds Ainsley out into a character that you can tolerate.
Well,
like,
and like the name was, you asked what the name was, and I was like, I don't know, for some reason the only thing that's coming to me is the Gap, and so
we ran with it.
Yes.
Damn right.
And I became the Gap.
And I became the Gap, and I'm the Gap, and I've been the Gap, and I'll be the Gap.
So true.
So let's move on to another question, and this one harkens back to as we were discussing our bonus campaign. Kat Faust from the Patreon asks, are there any more episodes of Dame Dive coming?
Yes.
Boy, are there.
One is coming soon.
Yeah.
And then Kat was like, do you want this to be the last one? And we were like, no, Kat.
Yeah, we were like, no, Kat.
You can't. Don't even say that, Kat.
Can we do like 5 more?
Yeah, literally, Hannah and I had an aside afterwards where we both like held each other crying, and we were like, we have so many ideas and plans. I can't.
I am planning to at least superficially sort of wrap up their storyline after in the Dame Dive that will come after the end of the main campaign. But we may still, like, if you guys want to keep doing it, I will continue to write adventures for them.
I love that.
So, we'll
just have to see where they end up.
Yeah.
So basically, as of now, what we know is there's going to be 2 more episodes of Dame Dive.
Yeah. What Noelle said. So that'll be great. Okay, let's see. What's another good... Oh, here's a good one. What are you all most excited about for the last arc? What are you least excited about?
Ooh.
I can start with what I am most and least excited about. I can answer this first. What I'm most excited about is being done. Not in like a I'm just so ready to be done with it, right? But like this is the end of this is I planned the end of this almost a decade ago. Which is insane to think about. But however, from the beginning of the podcast, I knew what the last confrontation is going to be. Like where it would end
wow.
up. I knew where that was going to go. So I'm really excited to finally get there and finally have all of the dominoes that I have set up along the way.
You're so powerful.
I hope so. I did. I will say this. At some point in the Conspiracy Theories Discord, at some point in the past, somebody has guessed the ending. So, going back to talking about how I'm like, just like way less of a bitch than the writers of Game of Thrones, when that person like listens to the final episode and they feel the vindication of being right, I want them to know that I saw them, I see them, they have been right the whole time, and I appreciate them paying enough attention to have made the correct guess.
Cool.
So I'm excited to be done. On the least excited about, I am terrified that I'm gonna fuck it up.
Because you're not gonna fuck it up, Kat.
You're not gonna
You're
fuck
great.
it up.
We're all gonna work together.
We're all gonna
work together.
Support each other, and we're gonna do it, and it's gonna be good. And
well, thank you. It's just there's a lot of things on this list of questions. I'll address a couple of them eventually here, but there's like there's plot holes. There's things that I never followed up on and never will follow up on because this is an improv medium, and I don't necessarily remember what I said.
Do every single thing, right?
And then there's a lot of things that I set up as like, this would be a cool plot. And then it just never got followed up on. You guys never picked up the plot hook, and that's fine. That's kind of just part of a D&D is it's just a buckshot approach to like, what are you going to pick up? So like, I know where the gaps are. And then I also don't know where a lot of the plot holes are. And
But do you know where the gap is?
I don't know where the gap is currently because Noelle has them held hostage in
Caddy's right behind you!
Oh my god, Cat, watch out!
Oh god! So that's for me. That's what I'm most and least excited about. Most excited to see the payoff, least excited to fuck it up.
That's a mood.
That is really a mood.
Mm-hmm.
I feel similarly, Kat. I'm very excited to. I think we kind of have talked about this as a group before. I'm really excited to get into some interesting, like, more serious things, and particularly like go into interesting parts of Fran. For the last arc here. But I'm very nervous about fucking it up and biffing it at the end.
We can edit it. It'll be fine.
You're right.
We just gotta stick the landing here.
Yep.
But if we don't stick the landing, you guys, we still did a good podcast.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
Please remember that.
Maybe
also,
the
like,
real podcast.
You guys think about like all of the shows that you love that have terrible endings, but you still love the ride.
That's true.
So even if we fuck it up, our ride has been very cool.
That's very true.
But we're not going to fuck it up. It's going to be the best ending to any podcast that's ever.
Oh god, oh man.
Yeah, exactly.
I really hope so.
We're going to be the first people to podcast on the moon. So write that down.
That would be sick.
Yeah, suck my dick, Elon. We're going to the moon. Hannah, Juniper, least, most, favorites.
Yeah, I can go or you can go. What do you want to do?
You go, because I'm still mulling.
Okay, mull. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely similar things where it's like, I mean, personally, I like getting, like, emotional in, like role play stuff. I like to do, like, I think it's fun to get to really explore a character that way, and I think it can be very cathartic. So that's good. But it is hard and weird. I think what I'm hoping is that we can, or what I'm hoping, at least for myself, is to be in the moment with it and engage and enjoy it in the same way that I would for an arc that wasn't the last arc.
Right.
Because I think it is really easy to kind of be like, well, what if I don't hit all the emotional beats I want to, and what if, and you just get really in your own head, and then I don't think you can do as good of a job as engaging emotionally. So
that's
I
valid.
I don't know. It's weird and bittersweet. Like
it is.
Yeah. So I'm hoping I can do a good job and do justice to the story that Kat's been making and to the character that I've made. And I hope I don't fuck it up.
Well, on that note, Slate, why do I call you? Sorry. On that note, I am like, one of the things that I'm very nervous about is that I suspect and I expect that there's going to be a lot of parts where I have to like do acting other than acting like a shitty little asshole. And I hate it, and
You're going to have to be emotionally vulnerable with us.
What the fuck are you even saying?
That's, Noelle.
That's a threat.
Once again, we are soul bonded, and that is exactly what I'm dreading the most, is that I'm going to have to take Corbin to a place where he is genuinely emotional, and I can't even take myself to a place where I'm genuinely emotional, so...
I feel like, guys, Juniper, like, what are we going to do? We're going to have to, like...
I am going
to talk to my therapist about it.
We're going to have to, like, build a tent over ourselves and, like, be inside.
You're going to feel your feelings, and I'm going to be right there, and I'm going to be supporting you.
I'm going to make you both cry.
If I have to act, I am literally going to ask every single one of you to fucking leave the room.
Juniper, you won't need to act. I will just make you cry genuine tears.
Kat, I love your enthusiasm, and I believe in your talent and your strength, but I also think that you underestimate the level of repressed I am.
Maybe we need to watch we should all watch A Werewolf Boy together, and then maybe you guys will get over your fear of crying in front of other people.
The most emotionally manipulative movie of all time. It will make you cry, and you will be mad about it.
That's true.
Let's all watch it together, and then I can dry your little tears, and then you'll trust me. And
then like Fran will be like, "Oh, I'm so sad. My boyfriend is chopped in half, and he's a werewolf, and he's waiting for me."
Because I will, after watching Werewolf Boy, Phelan will become a werewolf. I will make that happen.
Absolutely. I mean, that has to happen.
It will happen. It'll campaign.
It happened off screen while we were watching Werewolf Boy.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Let's find another really good question. I will just quickly address from Ashley Pinnock on Patreon. There's a couple questions about various plot things. I'm just going to read them all, and then I'll answer them all with the exact same answer. Questions were, what can you tell us about the origin/deal with elementals and aberrations? Will we ever see more of Lila or any of the Matrian court? Why didn't Hugin's body leave a heart like Bruva's did? While they were at Pavia's tower, could the Guardians have taken out Trivia's heart and sacrificed it to one of themselves to create a new god of truth? And what is the tree of glass that appeared in Corbin's dream during Arc 4.9? I can answer pretty much all of these questions that were about why did this happen in one way and not another, and the answer is I forgot. I forgot. Why didn't Hugin's body leave a heart? But I forgot that was a thing. What was the glass tree?
It was there. It was off screen.
What was the glass tree? Don't remember. Talking about like things that I
also forgot about that.
I just never got back to. You know, like I think that sequence was supposed to just be like a bunch of possible futures that could have happened, and I just never got back to that one.
The glass tree was the metal tree.
I think so. Honestly. Like we could probably like slantwise, you know, Corbin saw it, he thought it was glass, but actually it was metal, and you know, we could slantwise that. Could they have taken Pavia's heart and sacrificed it to one of themselves to become a new god of truth? Probably not, actually, because Pavia is technically still alive. She's just like she's not dead. She's just trapped.
She's not in her body.
Yeah, she's not
corporeal.
Yeah, she's not actually dead. And you can only create a new god of something if that god is like fully and truly 100% dead.
Yeah, so we just would have been doing freaky stuff with a dead body for no reason.
And you can't be doing that.
Can't be doing that. We've never done that on the podcast before.
Yeah, we're very normal about everything that we do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. What was the other one? Will we ever see Lila or any more of the Matrian court? Probably not. I don't think you guys are going back there. And what's the deal with elementals? Haven't thought about it.
They're around.
They're around.
They're doing shit.
I mean, if I can get a little bit into like a sort of off the top of my head, sort of I've thought about it thing. The origin and deal with elementals and aberrations is that there are other planes that exist out, kind of like out in the void. Like Avalis is one of many. Fran's mom would be coming from the elemental plane of water, because elementals could be summoned onto Avalis, which meant that they didn't come from the world below.
You mean they could be summoned onto Estra?
Yeah, sorry, onto Estra. So, fun little detail about Estra: every monster that they encountered in Estra is something that has to be summoned or can be summoned in. Nothing like the way I had it written in my original notes about Estra is that Kai had worded it so well that nothing from the world below could be summoned up onto the island.
So it has to be summoned from another plane.
Yeah, so it has to be summoned from another plane. So that's a little bit about elementals and aberrations, is they come from other planes of existence within the void. So
interesting.
Yeah, there is actually.
Catherine.
I was being flipped when I said I hadn't thought about this. I actually have thought about that one. But
Nice.
But it goes to a larger point that, I haven't thought about everything, but I do love when people ask questions because it makes me think about things that I might not have.
There you go. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. How about let's pull.
We got any chat questos?
Somebody asked if we read AO3 fanfic.
I do not.
Well, specifically they meant AO3 fanfic of the show, because
yes.
I can tell you, I read AO3 fanfic.
Like, in general, yes.
Not of our. I mean, I think I have before, but like I really only skimmed it, and for the reason that like I don't want to like get ideas from somebody's fanfic, basically.
Yeah, I don't want to accidentally steal nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when we first got a couple of fics, I went through and read them, I believe, or at least I skimmed them. I don't remember. It was a while ago. But since then, no, because I, like Noel said, I don't want to get ideas, but also I'm like deeply, deeply afraid of being perceived. And so if I don't know that anybody is perceiving me in any way, shape, or form, I can live in peace.
Yeah.
But
That's true.
right now I'm dying.
I don't read fanfic in general or of this podcast. But it's just not.
Kat, you're such a loser.
I know.
You're not a
Kat,
fanfic
whatever.
reader. I can't believe it.
I know.
You're not on AO3.
It's just not my
You
thing.
don't
Kat
fit
doesn't
in.
even want to hear about the plot of Mob Psycho.
No, I don't want to hear about Mob Psycho, but
I
thank you.
cannot believe.
I can't believe that shit.
But yeah, I and for very similar reasons though why I don't check out the fanfic for this podcast is I don't want to be influenced by what other people's ideas are, but also I just don't really read fanfic because it's not my cup of tea. I don't want anybody to think that I don't support fanfiction. I do. I love it. I love that it exists. Just not for me.
I actually have been trying not to read fanfiction as much lately because I'm trying to write for myself, and I really struggle doing that when I'm reading fanfiction consistently.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, I get that. I absolutely get that because if I'm reading things, then I just want to keep reading. I don't. It's like crack to me. So I'm.
Kat, I have a question for you.
Yeah, I have an answer for you. Let's see if they match.
Kat, would you ever consider publishing a lore book for Avalis and the world of the podcast?
Oh my gosh, what a crazy question.
What a really good question.
So the answer to the question, yes. Actually, we being myself and with Rudy's help to manage my ADHD and give me deadlines, working on putting something together. We'll see. I'm not going to promise anything right now because, as aforementioned, I have ADHD and also a full-time job and also a podcast. So I have a lot of stuff that I would like to put into a world book. I hope that I can do it. I hope I can put it together. I think the idea is to like get something put together and then put out a Kickstarter and see if we can get any interest on it. So if you are super interested in a world book, if that's something that like you would really want, please let me know. Because I thrive on external validation. So
hell yeah.
So if a bunch of people tell me that they want it, I'm more likely to put on my big girl pants and buckle down and do it. Yeah, so let me know if you'd like that. I'm tentatively working on it.
Nice. Radpair in the chat asked, "Do you listen to any other D&D podcasts?"
Not really. I don't know.
No. I used to, and now I can't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, same. Before this podcast, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I do listen to other like narrative podcasts.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like
I do too.
And non-narrative ones. I have a lot of non-narrative ones I like. Oh, and one piece of like D&D or like TTRPG media that I really, really like is Drawtectives. It's done by the people who do Drawfee. I think if you like Dames and Dragons, you probably really like it. It's really funny, and yeah, I think apart from this podcast, it's one of my favorite like pieces of tabletop role-playing game related media ever. It's good.
Nice. I gotta check that out.
Nice.
Maybe check
Shout
that out.
out.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, it's really funny and weird and good.
Yeah, I think I kind of go through periods where I will listen to another podcast for a little while, but I have trouble keeping on top of them. And I think, like, Noelle and I have talked about this. I think we have the same reason. It's that, you know, I just can't stop comparing it to what we're doing.
Exactly, yeah.
And
for better, for worse.
Yeah, for better, for worse. But, like, it is also, like, for me, it's a worry about stealing ideas, intentionally or not.
Yeah.
That was actually something that happened. I used to listen to God's Fall way back when God's Fall started. And I realized during the Gray Manacle, like, I changed it before we recorded it, but I had built an entire encounter, and then I realized, oh fuck, that's just what they did in God's Fall. So
oh no.
So I had to completely like change it, and you can still kind of see the DNA there if you like look really closely. I think they had like a crystal that created infinite water, like that was a thing in God's Fall.
Oh yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, and
that area.
Yeah, so I had that, and I hadn't meant to lift it. It wasn't like I'm going to take this idea from God's Fall. It was just one of those things where I went, oh shit, I was influenced by this, so.
Yeah.
Oops.
I mean, that is like so real. It's so, especially with music, but like even just with anything. It's so weird how ideas like will go into your brain and then you forget that you didn't think of them.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Like,
all the time.
Like, it seems like it couldn't happen, but it like does happen.
Happens. Yeah, it
It's
happens
so
constantly.
weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Radpair also has a question. They said, will we get a recap episode for Cross Camp? I would love to see Ainsley the Gavin Postmanger in the extra dimensional space.
Oh
that
my
would
god.
be so insane.
That would be really
That
funny.
would be so insane.
I mean,
That would be really funny. I think it would be, like, we don't really need a recap for...
Yeah, it's a very
you
short
could sum it up very
campaign.
quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, well, and it's also, like, the purpose of our recaps is, like, so people can skip or so they can...
Again,
like,
I mean, I have
remember.
an idea for another mystery we could solve, so...
Okay, well, if we do that...
All right, do we want to do one last question here? Because we're about at time
Well,
here.
do you mean the final
Yeah,
question?
the question,
final,
Catherine?
The final question.
The question?
The question?
The question?
Who wants to read
The.
the final question?
All right.
Uh...
Go for it.
The final question is,
There
we
beach
go.
episode when? Just kidding.
Shut up.
Beach episode. Beach episode. No. So
Hey, wait, let me just say this. There is a beach episode of the bonus campaign.
Oh,
there
if
is.
you listen to
Yeah,
it.
there
Yeah,
actually
so that's the
is.
beach episode of Dames and Dragons. Okay, anyway,
So.
the question is not that. The question is, what's next? Are we gonna keep doing D&D podcast when this is all over? Are we gonna leave, go into the woods and disappear?
Retire.
I am going.
Are we gonna
I
retire?
am going to go into the woods and disappear, but I will continue to podcast from my disappearance
From
in
the woods. Yeah.
So that's the spoiler.
I'm going to disappear. I'm going to start a true crime podcast about my own disappearance. And it will have the most climactic fun finale of all
I
time.
love
yes.
that. I love that for you.
I can't wait.
So to answer the question, yes, we are not.
But serious.
Huh?
Yeah, seriously, we are going
Yes.
to keep podcasting.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yes.
keep podcasting.
And Kat, do you want to reveal any, like, I mean,
I'll give
not
a little-
anything meaty, but you know what I mean?
I'll give a
Yeah.
little tidbit.
like a teaser.
I'll give it a little
Do
juicy.
you want to?
So I've already planned
Yeah.
the next campaign. That's the thing. We've talked about this before. I'm really excited to start the next campaign. It's gonna be really fun. And like I'm sad to be leaving Avalis behind, and I'm hopeful that we wrap it up on a good note and everything resolves very nicely with Avalis. Because I want to be done with it because I want to get into this new thing. It's going to be really fun. I won't say much about it because I don't want to lock myself into many details, but I will say the plan is that there will be a lot more Patreon participation about like how things are going to shake out.
Right.
Yeah, some world building stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to be going to our Patreons to ask for some suggestions. We're going to do some building some tables together, me and Patreon. It's going to be a lot more, it's going to be a lot shorter. The next campaign is going to be a lot shorter. It's not going to take another, 7 years. And it's going to be a lot more modular. So it's going to be a lot more in the vein of our Dungeon Dive episodes than of this podcast. I think I learned a very similar lesson to Adventure Zone. Learned a very similar lesson to what Griffin learned, which is a big long campaign is very tiring and it takes a very long time, and by the end of it you want to be done. So and you don't want to do another one after that. So yeah, I'm really excited for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I won't say anything more than that.
Rad Pear says, love table, very woodsy.
Gotta have a table.
Nice.
Very woodsy. But yeah, so that is all to say also as well, all of that, it's not going to happen for another year.
Yeah, it's going to take us,
realistically speaking, our arcs take a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they take a really long time.
Yep.
It'll probably be a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when it happens, baby, we're going to be...
Whoa, it's going to happen.
Whoa, is it?
And we're definitely going to come off of the last episode feeling so good and not like we biffed the landing. And anyway, look forward to my new true crime podcast. It's going to be called No Noel Well.
Did we get married?
No, is it set in a well?
Well.
No.
You find out about the well 5 episodes in, and then it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
It means that Noelle is not doing well.
Right.
No Noelle.
Well.
No.
No Noelle.
Or is it like a shrug? Like, no, Noelle. Well.
Well.
Oh, I thought it might have
that's
been.
good.
I also thought it could have been a play on well. But
No, it's a play on Noelle.
Noelle,
Right.
well, what do we have here?
Exactly.
Noelle. What do we not have here?
Well.
Okay, all right.
Thank you
we can keep
so much.
Oh, I did want to answer one last question really quick from the cult
Yeah.
of Darius. What do we think about the Darius cult? And Darius's canonical birthday is December 23rd. Okay,
I'm pro.
I'm pro.
I approve it.
Yeah, I'm into
We
it.
approve it.
So it shall be December 23rd. Everyone prepare your altars and your sacrifices.
But also, if anybody dies as a result of this cult, we are not liable.
Yeah.
No, we have no affiliation to the cult
We are not involved with this cult.
in any way, shape, or form.
FBI.
We are not involved.
FBI, just know, ain't our cult.
Yeah.
Ain't our cult. We didn't.
FBI
And,
the
Other
Foobie,
cults,
don't
but
look at
this
us.
is not one of them.
And I hope you have a great time.
All right, everybody.
Love hanging out with my friends.
Yeah, we love you all. Stay safe out there. Stay healthy. Don't get COVID. I can tell you
Yeah,
it sucks.
Don't wear a mask. Wear
It
a mask.
fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Get boosted.
Yep, get
Wear a mask,
Do
get
it.
boosted.
Get boosted.
I'm gonna get boosted on Wednesday.
Yes.
I've been boosted
get it.
for a month.
I got
Well,
cool.
okay.
Super secret for you,
Okay.
Hannah's in the cult.
Hannah's in the
Hannah's
I'm not
the
in. I'm not.
Hannah joined
legally
the cult.
involved in anything.
Hannah is in the cult.
Hannah.
I'm just trying to
legally
let
join
people
a cult.
know that I want them to have a
legally join a cult
nice
and
time.
you legally become their leader and tell them to do really
I don't
sketchy
understand
stuff.
where these accusations are coming from.
Okay.
Anyway,
We'll never
it's
know.
been great talking to everyone.